Hey everybody, it's Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T. I'm talking with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who, here's the thing, I think is taking on Tyron Woodley at UFC 205. What is the latest? Have you guys actually signed the paperwork?
Well, actually I signed it last
Okay.
night. Literally, I signed the paperwork last night. Not really sure if Tyron has signed it yet, but you know what? My manager was on me. Hey, let's do this, Madison Square Garden. So we signed it and sent it back. So it's on for me.
Great. Well, you know, he announced it last week when we were working on Fox, but I was working with him yesterday at UFC Tonight, and he, I guess, hadn't signed it yet. Was there any kind of holdup, any sort of hiccup for you guys? Why it was coming down to even yesterday for you?
Yeah, well, we didn't get that. I didn't get the contract till like what, 2 days ago. So I know my management team told me to wait until they give me the go to start signing it. Of course, I was in New York. I wasn't at home. I'm here in New York training with Chris, and so last night was the time they literally told me, hey, go ahead and sign this bad boy.
So now listen, what do you? I know one of the issues that he's had. It's funny because. People are starting to see a little different side of you or something, you know, like I don't know if he's bringing out the quote unquote bad guy in Wonderboy or what's going on. I know he's a little frustrated because I guess, you know, it was sort of already known that you would fight each other and he was bothered by you acting like he wasn't going to fight you. Do you know that story?
Well, yeah, actually, one of our karate parents actually sent me the video of him, or I guess on a podcast,
right.
Whatever, saying that. And I really didn't know until like 2 weeks ago. I was teaching karate class, and one of our karate parents just started jumping up in the air. Like, what's going on? It's like, you're fighting Tyron? You're fighting Tyron? I'm like, really? Well, I knew there was some talk, like some negotiation things, but nothing was said. So I didn't know till last Friday.
Okay.
That I was actually going to be fighting.
Oh, okay.
And so nothing was for sure. So that's how that came about.
So you are, man.
So I am.
Right.
So I wasn't really sure what was going on, and really didn't know why he was saying that. You know, of course I saw the article saying, hey, you know, Tyron respects me as a fighter, but not as a man. I was like, wonder why that is, man. I don't know. I didn't do anything. I don't think I did anyway. But I ended up reading what it was all about. It wasn't true. I really didn't know until last Friday.
Okay. Yeah, because that really did bother him. You know, he was basically thinking that, you know, that you were kind of maligning his name a little bit since he thought you both knew. It just that the paperwork hadn't been filed. But so, okay. But how do you feel about the fact that your dad is getting in on it too? Because I guess last night they were going back and forth on Twitter.
Yeah, man. I guess my dad felt like he had to get out there and, jab at him a little bit. You know what I mean? Because what he was saying, it wasn't true. I really didn't know until it was last Friday. I think he just wanted to make sure that he knew the truth, you know? And then next thing you know, it started to turn into a little back and forth battle.
Well, and I know your dad, he's not the kind that's going to back down easily.
No, he's not. You know what? While that's going on, I'm not paying attention. I'm training. I'm focused, and let them do the talking, man. I'm out here training and with one of the world's best, Chris Weidman, and I'm getting ready for November.
Nice. Well, yeah, he's right there driving. I'm glad you're not trying to Skype and drive. Very good.
I'm his chauffeur now. I'm paid the big bucks.
I mean, this is the thing, Chris. You know,
this is my new job. I feel like I'm really excellent at this.
I'm sure you have enough
so
children,
too.
Chris. I know you're very good at driving around town.
What's
I
that?
said, with all the kids you have, I know you're good at schlepping back and forth to gyms and practice.
Yes, I have a lot of experience in this, and that's why I'm paid the big bucks. That's why I'm being hired by Wonderboy for this.
Very nice.
Boom.
Very nice.
I'm getting really wide again, and there we go.
Nice. Okay, so here's the thing. I do have a question for you. You know, Chris obviously is a great wrestler. We know that Tyron is very good at that as well, but he does have the knockout power. We saw what he did to Robbie. So where do you see him being the most dangerous? Because it does now look like, I mean, he has been for a while, obviously, but putting it all together very well.
He does. I mean, he's got a really, really mean right hand. I mean, he's knocked, some of the best guys out in the division with that right hand, and he's got an explosive takedowns, good wrestling background. You know what? Pretty much everybody I prepared for is going to want to take it down. I know that. So that's one thing I'm always working on. One thing I'm, working on with Chris and bringing wrestlers in to South Carolina, and but even standing, man, you got to watch out. Tyron's an explosive guy. And if he wants to hit you, he's going to hit you. And it's one of those that he's got that one quitter hitter power, so you got to watch out for that. You got to stay on your toes, keep moving, and making him swing and miss. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, a lot of people who are who want to see you win, Tyron's response is, well, I'm just not going to be standing there when Wonderboy wants to hit me. So obviously with him, you're always working the angles, but where do you feel like you can exploit him?
You know what? With my style, it's very frustrating. And, the in and out movement, the front legs, side kicks, the hook kicks, the angles that I throw, it frustrates a lot of people. I know Tyron knows that, and he's a very intelligent fighter, so I don't to get frustrated. So I'm going to have to go out there and draw that out a little bit. Maybe the first round. Obviously, watch out. He's at his most dangerous, I think, in the first round. So try and frustrate him a little bit. Try and get him to, swing in this and counter off that, or meet him in the middle. But man, I'm going to be pumping kicks left and right, trying to keep that right hand away from me.
Yeah, I can imagine. In the past, people have criticized him, saying that he has some endurance issues. Have you seen that at all? Do you think that's a fair assessment?
You know what? People say that he's notorious for slowing down. I wouldn't say he of course, everybody slows down as the fight goes on. It's a five-minute round fight. But he does slow down a little bit, but I don't care if it's in the first round or the fifth round. He still has the power to knock you out, to put you away. So it's one of those fights where I have to be on guard through the entire match. There's no time where I can sleep on it.
No, absolutely not. And, before the fight he had with Robbie Lawler, you were pretty vocal about saying you would have preferred to fight Robbie Lawler, or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but maybe expected that your title shot would be against Robbie Lawler instead. What did you make of the way that he was able to win the title? Were you impressed with Tyron?
I really was, man. I mean, I didn't expect him to go out there and knock him out in the first round. I mean, if you go back and watch Lawler, he's been through a lot of wars. He's known to take shots and keep on coming. But that just goes to show the power that Tyron's got in his hands, I didn't expect that at all. He started backing up. He started backing Lawler up. And that's something you don't see out of Lawler. So I was very surprised about that. And he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He was going to knock him out. So, it's I'm going to have to be really prepared and
right. I think you went through a tunnel or something. So obviously with Tyron, I was working with you, and I know you were thrown into the hot seat there, and you kind of had to talk some smack to him right away. Are you getting more comfortable with that part of the game now that you guys do have a fight? But, there is a head game element to it.
Yeah, there is, and I am getting a little bit more comfortable. I'm definitely not the type of guy to go out there and, do any kind of trash talking or anything like that. That's just not who I am. But with where we're at in the UFC division, fighting for the title, there's going to have to be a little bit of that, So I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with it, especially the very first time, being with you and Fox Sports 1, I was definitely not comfortable, and I think you could tell. I think everybody in the entire world could tell I wasn't comfortable. But I'm getting there. I'm picking up some tips from Chris,
right.
Maybe from DC that night. So they're helping me out.
Yeah, very nice. Well, and he does call you Wonder Woman instead. I would imagine you can just kind of shake that off, or does it bother you?
Yeah. I mean, does he really know how powerful that character is?
Yes, totally.
She's a monster. Come on. Nah, it doesn't bother me one bit. I've been called Wonder Woman, Wonder Bread, Wonder Bra. Oh my gosh, all kinds of stuff.
Hey, Wonder Bra is a woman's best friend. Let me tell you, Stephen, that's not a bad thing.
What the heck? Yeah, you call me Wonder Woman. I think he's challenging my mom. Because she's Wonder Woman.
Right. Yeah, your mom is Wonder Woman. You're right. One thing I do wonder though, is there going to be a point? I remember when Uriah Faber was considering changing his name from the California Kid, because he was like, well, I'm kind of a grown-ass man at this point. Like, is there going to come a day when you won't be Wonderboy?
Man, I don't know, man. Everybody's like, hey, when do you want to switch into Wonder Man? I guess as long as I'm walking out to Tenacious D, Wonderboy, I'm going to be Wonderboy.
Very nice, very nice. And I should ask you how Chris is looking in his own preparation for Yoel Romero. How's he looking?
Man, this guy is a machine. Chris is a machine, which is why I love coming down here training with this guy. being in the mindset of a champion, the guy doesn't make any excuses. He goes out there, he puts in the work every day, and what impresses me the most is he's able to do that and separate from his time with his family. I'm a family guy as well, so I think that's just.
And I do have to wonder for you. Yeah, and I wonder for you. Is it easier? Do you think it's easier for you? I have to kind of answer my own question to be able to get great wrestling practice, in advance of what Tyron can do. Do you think he's going to have a harder time trying to find somebody to imitate your style?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch him, he is kind of got some basic boxing. He's got, of course, the black double, which he's very good at. I think he's going to have a harder time finding somebody with my style than me finding somebody for his.
Right.
It's just, I mean, there's a lot of fighters. Johnny Hendricks tried it. Rory McDonald actually brought in one of the best karate fighters in the fight game right now, Raymond Daniels, and it didn't help him out any. I just have the only person you can get is me. For the style that I have, and it's going to be more difficult for him to figure that out. So, of course, I've got one of the best wrestlers in the middleweight division, Chris Weidman, here. My wrestling coach, Thomas Lee, and I learned to wrestle out of Canada. So, yeah, man, he's going to definitely have a harder time, I believe.
Well, and I'm wondering if you're going to have your ear to the ground in your karate community, because he's going to have to search somewhere to find somebody. And I don't know if it's a close community, but I feel like you might find out who he's working with.
Maybe. I mean, I found out that Roy had Raymond Daniels up there just through social media.
Yeah. Okay.
I had a buddy of mine who was like, hey, man, he's got Raymond Daniels up there helping him out. So unless he keeps it a secret, doesn't post anything up, I may not know. I have no idea. So, but it doesn't matter.
He hasn't told us, believe me. He was very cagey at work. He wouldn't say anything.
It doesn't matter, because I know nobody's going to be able to simulate me. I know for a fact. It's going to be very difficult.
Nice. All right. Well, so let's say you were victorious at Madison Square Garden. Well, first I should ask you, how big a deal is that to you? Are you a guy that always thought about Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, this as soon as they announced it, I was like, man, this is like a home away from home for me, because I spent a lot of time up here in New York with Chris, and I've actually never stepped foot in Madison Square Garden. So this is going to be really exciting for me to step out there this historical day, having MMA first time in New York. And man, where some of the best athletes in the world have competed. So, this is going to be huge for me. I'm definitely smiling from ear to ear every time I think about it.
Yeah, well, some of the greatest athletes, I'm pretty sure I saw George Michael there 2 years ago. So there's that. There's that.
George
Careless Whisper.
Michael quality. I love it.
It's a great song. It's a great song. But so do you think if you're victorious and if you become the champion, do you think Demian Maia would be the first guy that you would fight?
I think yes. I mean, I'm the champion. I should take on all newcomers, and I think he's definitely deserved it. Yeah, I mean, and then some. Demian Maia is a very dangerous opponent. I mean, he's got one skill that he's just phenomenal at. It's just like the complete opposite of me. With me, the striking, he's got the grappling, so it's a classic matchup. I think it's something that everybody would want to see. So yeah, Demian Maia is definitely in my head as well. I mean, of course, I got one guy on my mind right now, which is Tyron, but I know he's going to be next.
Nice. Well, awesome. We'll have fun at the press conference, and have Chris kind of up you on some more smack talk and stuff, because I
gotta work on that, man. Tell me about it.
You do. Well, the thing about it is
stuff my way too, Karyn. Come on.
I know. Well, I'm trying. The thing is you're smiling, and so it's kind of just like, aw, he can't really be. He's still smiling.
I know, man. I think that's a given. I'm always smiling. Even if I talk crap, I'm going to be smiling. So they're like, is he serious or is he not?
Right.
Is he?
No? I don't know.
No? Yeah?
But that's the mystery. That's the reason you're an enigma, is because now we don't know.
Exactly. I'm doing it on purpose.
Nice. Very nice. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time, and best of luck to you, Stephen. We will see both of you soon.
Thank you very much.
Right.
And you're always looking lovely.
Thank you.
Tell your husband I said hello.
I will. See you guys. Bye. Thanks, Chris.
Can you? Of course, it always goes bad when we're talking about.
I know. Is he a vampire? He's got like a vampire effect on Skype. He can't.